Welcome to the Cushy Life. My name is Erica, and I'm a part to sometimes full-time reseller, depending on the season, actually. I've only been doing this about 2 years, and I really wanted to start this YouTube channel to not only share my wins, but also my flops and just what trends I'm seeing out there in the marketplace across multiple platforms. Now, I do cross-list to pretty much all the platforms, but this channel is probably going to be primarily focused on Facebook Marketplace, as I'm finding the most success there at this time. That can change, right? Things do change, and it's very volatile when it comes to reselling. And I'm hoping that whether you're curious about it or have been doing it a really long time, that we can come together and share our experiences in the comments. So moving on, I want to share my last week's numbers as well as which platform is still holding strong in my experience. Here's a quick snapshot from July 21st through July 27th with a total net profit of $1,088. Now, I use a software called Nifty where I actually cross-list to multiple different platforms, but it does not work with Facebook Marketplace, so I do have to do that manually. But you can see here it's well worth it. I had 3 times the amount of profit on Marketplace for $573 with just 16 items. And then Poshmark came in at number 2 for 11 items at $219. And then eBay coming in last at 6 items for $190. Before I dive into the top sales of the week, I just wanted to share this incredible find of gold rings. I actually was at a garage sale on Thursday, and I was the first one at the sale. And I saw bag jewelry pinned up to a board, and I took a closer look, and I saw this particular piece. It looked like costume jewelry, but I zoomed in with my phone on the inside because I saw a marking, and it said 14K. I just grabbed the whole bag for $5 and decided to deal with it in the car. This particular item looked like a Pandora's bracelet, and it was for $2. It had 12 charms in it. I should be able to net profit $250 to $300 on this one. Here's another close-up of a ring that was in that bag. And all of the rings together combined were 0.7 ounces. So you go ahead and do the math. All right, I wanted to start off with these adorable hand-carved little kittens here, or cats. They look like mid-century modern, and the reason why I thought that was because of this curvature shape here. It just really screamed vintage and mid-century, and it ended up selling for my full asking price of $32 on Marketplace. Now, the customer ended up with shipping and taxes paid a little over $50 for these. I mean, crazy. I was just really surprised. It sold in less than a day, and my net profit on these guys was $26.88. Really quick and easy money on Facebook Marketplace. I had an amazing sourcing week, and this was one of the items that I picked up at a very random sort of like yard estate sale that popped up on Craigslist. Now, there was no pictures, and it was 30 minutes away. And I took a gamble because it was at a mobile home park, and I do typically do really well at mobile home parks, and I love going to them because they're just usually really nice people, and it's just a good vibe. So, but I actually grabbed this with 6 other items, of which already, gosh, 5 of them have already sold, or maybe I grabbed 7 items and 6 have sold already. And again, same sale, 1 pickup. This was a brass skullet helmet bucket, and it had dents in it, but I really liked this feature here with that blue, white, and floral detail on the handles. And again, it had issues. This wasn't perfect. It looked old. I don't know how old it was because there was reproductions of this particular item. But I took an offer. I had a lot of offers on it, around 40 to 50. But I took the best offer because I wanted to flip it quick, and it flipped in a day actually for $55 plus shipping, and that gave me a net profit of $34.88. Okay, this is a vintage brass model cannon on a carriage, and it actually did wheel, so it did move, and I did show that in a video. But I actually picked this up at the same sale as a scuttle, and you just never know if you never ask, right? I went into this sale asking if she had any brass to the owner that was there, and she said, "Well, why don't you go ahead and take a look in the back? I think I do." And she had four pieces of brass, and this was one of those. Now, I usually stick to sculptures or bells or things like that, or like cute animals. But this was an interesting piece I've never run across, and I wasn't sure if it would sell or not, but I picked it up. It was only $9, and it sold in less than a day to a customer in Kentucky. She actually reached out to me on Facebook Marketplace and asked for a shipping quote, of which I gave it to her. I use Pirate Ship to do those shipping quotes, and she decided to pay me on PayPal. Now, I did take an offer of $65 plus ship, but it was an easy, clean transaction, and my profit on this one was $52.82. Okay, here is a vintage hand carved wood duck. Now, this also came from that same sale with the brass. I picked it up because it just looked really beautifully done and it was very detailed. It had the little eye there. And I just love the painted color. It was good size, so it had that really nice structure, and it just really stood out to me, and it sold in less than a day actually on Marketplace for my full asking price of $55. Now, with the fees and everything, my net profit was $39.16. Now, I've already generated $160 in net profit from 5 items at this sale. So, and they all flipped within a day or less. So I'm really proud of that. All right, I picked this up at a community garage sale out in Lowell. If you haven't seen my last video, I'll link it up here. And it is amazing. It was just an amazing experience, finding certain items as well as a hidden attic that was above a garage that I was able to do a pretty much private pick on. This wasn't at that particular sale, but it was on the way to that other sale, and it was someone that was trying to downsize their storage container. And this was one of those items. They moved in with their mom and they had an extra, and so I was like, wow. She ended up selling it to me for $50, and I actually flipped this on Marketplace to a local buyer in less than an hour. It just sold less than an hour for, actually, she gave me $5 more when she picked it up the next day for $180. I even noted some minor issues here, but it was essentially brand new. So my net profit on the KitchenAid was $130, which made my whole day pretty much going to all of the sales on my last video. All right, this is a vintage mid-century modern Sirocco gold wall mirror. Now, I pick up Siroccos whenever I can. They are just an easy and fast flip no matter what it is. I feel like, especially in the floral department. I actually have a couple pieces on my walls myself that I just can't part with. But this was an amazing and gorgeous mirror. I mean, look at the ornate details here. And it actually sold to someone in my local area. I did not want to ship this thing. I just don't like shipping mirrors, but I will for the right price, especially at 95. But it ended up selling to a local customer who offered me 80, and I took it and ran since I only paid $5 for it. And she actually collected these types of mirrors, and she said it was going to go on her wall, and it was a younger woman, so I was kind of surprised. It's always nice to see what your market is in some of these items, and I was really excited to see this go. Okay, this was a pair of shoes that I picked up on the way home from Brownsville. I do have a video on my sourcing trip that day. These sold extremely fast, actually less than a day on Poshmark. And I think the key factors here were that they were not only Danskos, but they were red. So they were red Mary Jane. And they were in excellent condition, maybe worn a few times, no real wear on them. But they did sell for, I think I took an offer on these for around 45 if I remember right. And my net profit on these were $30.06. Okay, so I sell a lot of Coach, but I'm very picky about which items I pick up anymore. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way when it comes to Coach. This particular handbag came in a large lot of Coach that I purchased from an older lady who was downsizing, and she had an amazing vintage collection, and this was one of those. And it sold in actually 3 days, but I was really happy to see it fly. I mean, that is just really quick for a Coach. And I really like this one because it did have the really interesting elements to it, embellishments. It did have some wear on it even, but it sold for 167 in less than 3 days, and my profit on that one was $83.06. Okay, I picked this camera bag up at the same sale as those red Danskos, and I was only $9 into this one, I believe, and it sold in less than 2 days. I took an offer on it for $70 just because I kind of knew that's where I would land. But it was in excellent condition and it was a very quick flip. My net profit on this one was $42.93. Okay, that's a wrap for these week's sales. I am still on cloud nine when it comes to sourcing this week. Not only did I find gold, I found high profit, fast selling brass items, as well as getting an opportunity to go into an attic of an ex-antique and vintage dealer. I don't know about you, but it was just an incredible week, I guess. I've never really had one of these type of weeks before. I've had some good sourcing trips, but this one might top them all. I would love to hear in the comments below, what type of opportunities have you been given or have you found in the reselling space, whether it's a bulk buy deal or even just finding a few things at a Goodwill. Anyway, if you could hit subscribe and like, I would really appreciate it. This channel is going to be built a little bit more towards Facebook Marketplace, as well as our experiment with my husband and I to see if we can generate enough income each month to cover healthcare costs and travel costs when it comes to retirement. I'll see you in the next one.